So according to this AARP article, romance scams was the top costliest scam, I think, in 2019 and 2020. Now, again, how accurate are these numbers? They're not accurate. You see, $83.7 million is just for the reported romance scams. But what percentage of romance scam victims actually report themselves? I would say less than a quarter. So you could probably triple this number or quadruple it, because too many victims of the romance scam are too embarrassed to say anything, certainly to their own families. Now, I mentioned earlier about the demographic. This graph shows you in red is the first 3 quarters of last year. In blue is the whole of 2020. So look at the age group 60 to 69. Do you see how already in the first 3 quarters of 2021, it was almost the same as the whole of the previous year? So clearly the number of losses of romance scam is growing, and this is your classic demographic for being targeted. So within a month or so, I'll be out of this demographic into the 70s to 79s, but even so, that is still a large number. So we call it the romance scam, or we call it the sweetheart scam. And I just want to go through the different scenarios that we have. I like this slide from the AARP because that's what we need to do. We need to guard our wallets as tightly as we guard our hearts. And sometimes the reason people become victims is they allow their heart and their emotions to override their logic and their ordinary decision making. We have victims of this scam who are professionals. We have victims who are CEOs of companies, who are lawyers, CPAs, retired judges, architects, accountants, pastors, whoever, you name them. And nobody should be blaming themselves for this. There's too much victim blaming, but we should just be focusing more on the predators and the methods they use, and become more aggressive in how we identify them. So for me, there are 2 major types of this sweetheart scam, okay? Firstly, there is the face-to-face con artist. Believe it or not, there are many predators out there who will look for the classic victim in waiting. And sometimes it's very easy to identify the perfect victim. So who are these people? I call them professional predators. They're out there. Here's one such example. She was a real estate agent in California, Samantha Pham, and she's been convicted, sentenced for swindling. Look at this, a heart-sick old man. And the victim was 67, so he fits that demographic again. She spent $50,000 of his money paying off her gambling debts. She met him on Match.com and then met him in person. So they often meet through legitimate business transactions or through what I call chance encounters, but it's not really chance. These people plan how they're going to meet their victims. And where do they meet their victims? Now, in all the cases that I've investigated, looked at, reviewed, prosecuted, this is where they meet them. Parking lots. Now, which parking lot would it be? Walmart, Home Depot, Target. They're sitting in parking lots right now looking for the lonely individual driving up, and they will absolutely target them. Places of faith, where you go to worship, they're there looking for the classic mark. they'll come knocking on your door. In one of my cases, the perpetrator was saying, oh, I've lost my cat. Have you seen a cat, a stray cat? And then when she comes across an elderly man who clearly is all alone, she will start befriending him. I've seen predators in casinos looking around, we're looking for the perfect victim who's on their own. Grocery stores. The hook. What is the hook? Charm. Friendliness. They know exactly, excuse me, how to find and then how to target the victim's vulnerability. And so often they play upon the fact that the victim has lost a loved one, they're a widow or a widower, and they are looking for companionship. And in every case that I've dealt with a face-to-face contact, the victim appreciates the attention. And the perpetrator will often spend hours, even days, even weeks cultivating this friendship, because at the end of it, they know that they're going to get their hands onto the money.